1,
It all started in this way,
2,
with a duel.
3,
It is true that affairs with married women
4,
can cause many headaches, but this time I
5,
am playing with more than my reputation.
6, 7,
A duel with a deceived husband.
8,
This is not a joke.
9, and 10.
If you try to see my wife again, I swear I will kill you both. Do I speak clearly, old bastard?
Yes, I'm sorry. It will not happen again.
Shame on you. You could be her grandfather.
Are you okay, master?
It hurts. Help me to get up. Oh no!
The horse. Maldito diablo!
Let it be, Pedro. They are dead.
It's becoming dark. How we will return home?
Come, let us depart. In my weak condition, I could not spend the night outside. Pedro, my servant, proposed that we enter that old mansion. The chains on the gate suggested the house was not inhabited.
Come in, master.
No, you go first. I have already been shot once. We went upstairs, and after trying a couple of dust-laden rooms, we found one in good condition. Pedro found a bed behind a curtain, but I was occupied admiring the portraits on the wall.
Master, we should look at your injury.
Yes, I suppose so.
I'm going to close the curtains. You were lucky that it was superficial and I could remove it easily.
Yes, clearly today is my lucky day.
It could be worse. You could be dead now.
Leave it here. I will need it. I think it will be a long night. Pedro, pass me that book. See.
I found this shirt, Master.
This book, it speaks of the paintings in this room.
What?
It describes the pictures on the wall. It details them, everything to do with them.
Ah, yes?
This will help me pass the night. I do not think that this injury will allow me to sleep.
I cannot stop thinking about the poor horses.
Yes, they did not deserve to die for my sins. Can you open the curtains so that I can see the other pictures?
If you don't need anything else, I will rest here, in case you need me during the night.
Okay. Good night, Pedro.
Good night, Master.
Grandmother Greta. She became a widow when she was only 23 years old and took her father Vincent. He was a man with a singular character, sometimes funny, sometimes mysterious, and was never interested in the business or properties of the family. Like this I remained in the contemplation of the paintings that were hanging on the walls of the room. I decided to spend the night here, reading the book that described each work. The activity acted as a distraction from the pain of my injury. I discovered that all of the paintings were painted by the artist who was also the owner of the house, as well as the author of the manuscript I held in my hands. Then I started thinking about what had happened in this house. Why does no one live here? It does not seem abandoned. During this contemplation, I fell asleep.
okay, master?
Nothing, Pedro. Continue your sleep. It was then that I discovered it. It was hidden by the shadows of the room. When the light of the candelabra first lit the portrait, I felt a shiver. She was looking at me. Perhaps my weakened state from my injury and the effect of the alcohol in my blood played a trick on me. I thought this then because I had the sensation of being before a woman who was alive. There were some things that I had missed which I could not understand. It was not the realism of the painting, nor the unique beauty of the young woman portrayed. She had something else, something that went beyond the tangible. Finally, I thought I had discovered the secret. The girl in the portrait seemed to have a life of her own. But what was the reason? Who was she? And what would be her story? Only that handwritten book could have the answers to my curiosity. Ah, yes. Here it is.
Is anything wrong, master?
It's nothing, Pedro. Go to sleep. Elizabeth, my wife. She was a woman who had singular beauty and an innocent heart, full of vitality and a generous spirit towards everyone and everything in this world, without exception. I clearly remember that beautiful spring day when our lives crossed. Me, the artist, passionate about painting, a scholar, a rich man but austere and devoted in body and soul to my work. Now I curse the time I met her, and the fates that brought me to her. I let myself be seduced by her innocent look, to take her as a wife in marriage. I wanted her, but did not make her see from the start what was my true passion. That unfortunate time when she, sweet child, agreed with her sincere and devoted love to come here to live with me in the shadows of the walls of this house, too big, old and dark. Unfortunate because she took too long to discover that I, her husband, already had a previous and sincere love, a passionate desire and sickly. Painting occupied me most of the daytime, taking from me time beside her. And each passing day, more and more moments of my presence towards her was robbed. And she, feeling alone and unattended, saw canvases, brushes and other tools of my studio as her hated competitors. She, who had never hated anything or anyone. I also remember the evening I gave her the pendant and her expression of joy. That detail revived her again. I let her imagination and spirit fly with regained hope. But that did not last more than a moment, as the pleasant dream faded at its peak and we woke up to reality. A reality that pushed her onto the stage of her nightmares, my studio, to make her the object of my art. But despite everything, Elizabeth gave in and accepted with resignation my desire to paint her. She had a lot of patience, motionless and as a beautiful marble figure during long hours in that cold, dark room, where the sun touched her skin for just a few minutes each day. And the days were, for her, endless, and the weeks eternal. And I, blinded to capture all her beauty and natural vitality, did not realize that she was captive, and little by little I was consuming her life. On the contrary, my portrait flourished on the canvas and was admired by all who visited us. when I was about to finish my work, I wouldn't allow anyone else into my studio. Her mouth never complained, and she rested stoically until the last day. And when I was coming to the end of the process, when it wasn't more than just a touch of a brush on the eyes and lips, she had a fainting spell. And as I was just about to finish the portrait, I asked her to make one last effort. And for the last time, she pleased me. And I made the last brushstroke to the eyes and the final touch on the lips, and I noted with pride the fruit of my obstinate passion. Now, yes, it is like life itself, I exclaimed excitedly. But when I asked her to come and see it, I did not get an answer. And when I got close to her, I discovered with horror that she was dead. And I understood too late that it was I who had killed her.
Are you okay, master?
It's only her, the portrait. It was his last work. She died while he was painting her.
How do you know that?
From the book.
She's very beautiful and she looks alive, right?
Yes, Pedro. She will live forever here, forever young, captive in her own portrait. The next day, during our trip back home, I couldn't stop thinking about the young lady and her sad fate. I never knew what happened to her husband, the artist, her unconscious murderer.